What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Terry Duran, and this is in my first segment of Terry's 20, where I'm going to be responding to questions from my Instagram page at Terry Duran, and I'll be providing a male perspective, where I give you a reasonable, rational guy's perspective on various different topics. This is my first segment, so I don't quite have 20 questions this time, but that's okay. We'll be doing Terry's 13 for this first segment, but in the future, I'm going to do my best to answer at least 20 at a time. All right, so I'm going to be starting off with a question that was sent to me. This was from Henry David, and the question was, what is your favorite business book? Well, my favorite business book recently will be a book that's called Disrupt You by Jay Samit, and it breaks down the thought process and the mind frames behind a lot of the biggest companies and corporations or success stories in history: Apple, Google, YouTube, etc. And so it really helps you change how you view things and how you view opportunities in regards to business. So I would strongly recommend it. I recommended it personally to a lot of my friends and family members as well. The next question is going to be it was a question that was sent to me from Miss Keel 920, and this post said, he calls me his soulmate. We are best friends with all the benefits. Why won't he commit? Now, there could be a couple of reasons that explain why a man doesn't commit to a woman at a particular time. That does not mean that y'all may not end up being in a committed relationship together in the future. But generally, when a man is unwilling to commit to a woman that he is close friends with and has crossed the line into becoming romantically involved, it could be because he doesn't want to ruin the friendship that existed before the sex. Or it could be that he's not willing and able to give you what you would expect out of a relationship at that particular time. Now, anytime a man is in this type of situationship where he's having sex with a woman that wants more or wants a commitment out of him, he understands that choosing not to do that means that the woman can potentially find that with somebody else, and he has to accept that possibility of that happening. As far as you having sex with your best friend and y'all considering y'all to be soulmates and all these type of things, I don't really believe in the whole concept of soulmates, as in there's just this one person and your spirits connect and you're supposed to end up with them. I don't really believe in all that. The way that I look at dating and relationship success is you're either compatible with somebody or you're not. So if a guy's your best friend or y'all have a really close relationship, to me that indicates that y'all are compatible on a couple of different levels. That doesn't necessarily mean that y'all are compatible long term to be in a healthy relationship just because y'all are cool, y'all hang out and y'all having sex all of a sudden. But the whole idea of thinking that somebody's your soulmate or that you're going to be connected to them or there's some extra connection that you have to somebody else, I think kind of steers a lot of women down the wrong path. So if he's unwilling to commit at this time, you have to decide whether you want to continue to be romantically involved with him, because it's obvious that you're going to have an issue with him doing what he wants with other people, and since he's single, he has every right to do that. The next question, this was submitted to me by _.Shantae, and this was a question that said, when do you think is the best to ask the what is this question? Now, if you find yourself in a position where you have to ask what is this, to me that indicates that you failed the dating phase. You haven't been having the right kind of conversations, you haven't been having the right type of discussions, and you're not really paying attention to what's going on between y'all. Because if you are effectively dating someone, you don't have to ask this type of question, or at least not this direct. You'll have a very good idea of where things stand between y'all. So I would strongly recommend that you download my dating compatibility guide from my website, terryduran.com. I designed it to help walk women through this process, where you meet somebody new, you on the phone talking, y'all texting, and y'all are starting the dating phase. It outlines the conversations you should be having. It gives you some of the expected responses. It breaks down exactly what dating is and what the dating phase should look like, and if you're trying to establish a healthy relationship. And it provides you with tools to be able to evaluate the person that you're talking about to figure out even if they worth being in a relationship with. It's only $1.50 and it downloads directly to your phone or your tablet. So I would strongly recommend you invest in that, the couple of dollars into doing that, to make sure that you are having the type of discussions so that you can go back and have some of these kind of conversations, and perhaps, and I think there's a very good chance you'll be able to answer that question on your own on where things stand or what it is. The next post that I have was submitted to me by Paya Andal. It says, what's the best way to handle a liar, manipulator, if you have already caught feelings for them? Now, I think this is a situation where if you're dealing with somebody and you can already identify that they are a liar and a manipulator, this is a situation where you need to put your brain above your heart. Your feelings for them should not overrule the fact that you have already identified that they are untrustworthy, and you already know that trust is an essential part of any healthy relationship. So if you pursue a dating scenario or continue to be involved with somebody that you know is not trustworthy, then in essence you are setting yourself up to never have a healthy relationship where you're actually going to be happy, where it can actually grow and develop and blossom into something more or something more significant. I don't see how you could still want to be romantically involved with somebody that you've identified to have these type of traits. But that's a situation where you are going to allow your feelings to cause you to make some illogical decisions that are going to hurt you in the long run. So what you're essentially doing is choosing what feels good now, staying involved with the guy that you think you in love with or you have feelings for, and ignoring the major red flags or deal breakers just so that they can come back to bite you in the ass in the future. So you're setting yourself up for failure by pursuing this type of situation. So I would strongly recommend you use your brain instead of your heart. Let's see. The next question that I have is from Chuma_Salumbu. It says, what does a guy really mean when he says, let's take things slow? Well, when guys give women these type of disclaimers or these type of warnings, what they're really trying to do is help a woman to manage her expectations. Because we see that a lot of women have a major problem doing this. They go into dating scenarios hoping it becomes a committed relationship and looking for guarantees and assurances and things of this nature. And then when that doesn't happen, or if the dating situation doesn't go as planned, all of a sudden they're hurt, they're blaming the guy, they're claiming that they were led on, etc. When a guy's telling you, let's take things slow, he's letting you know he's going to be taking his time to evaluate whether he wants to be with you or not, which is smart. You should see people in different scenarios. You should see how they handle different life situations. You should see how they handle conflicts, how they resolve issues, etc. Because if you just instantly try to commit to somebody without figuring those things out, those will be the things that come and tear the relationship apart in the future. So when he's telling you, let's take things slow, he's letting you know that you don't need to have your expectations set to where y'all about to jump into a relationship. And that's perfectly fine. There's no way for him to know what's going to happen between y'all or to be able to predict the future. So a guy telling you, let's take things slow or let's see where things go, that's about as honest and transparent as you're going to get from a quality guy. And that gives you the opportunity to do the same thing, to take the time to actually effectively date, figure out if you are compatible, and then make a decision on whether you feel confident taking the relationship to the next level. So taking things slow is trying to help you not put yourself in a position where you have massive expectations and you're setting yourself up for disappointment. All right, the next question that I got was from Lovely Jessies. It says, can an ex come back into your life and truly only be friends, or is there more to this? Now, in most situations where an ex or somebody that you were romantically involved with comes back into your life, majority of the time is going to be to assume that position, to be either fuck buddies or having sex or try to pursue another relationship, something to that degree. But it is possible for somebody that you were once in a relationship with, or you were once romantically involved with, to have a platonic relationship with you. Sometimes it's because the physical attraction is no longer there. Somebody fell off, got fat, gained weight or whatever, but you're still cool people. You know what I mean? Like, so just because they may not want to have sex with you anymore doesn't mean that they don't want your companionship or to enjoy being around you, etc. So it's possible, but it's I would say it's a rare situation. Majority of the time, ex romantic flame is coming back to try to rekindle that romantic flame. All right, let's see. The next the next question that I got. It says, this is from B the Max. What should I do when a man I like tells me that he is in a relationship that is not working? Well, anytime you're talking to a dude, he tells you that he's in a relationship, he got a woman already. He's that's your application on whether or not you are willing to be his side chick, right? So if you convince yourself that, oh, he's in an unhappy relationship, so he's gonna leave her for me, then you are most likely setting yourself up to be hurt or disappointed in the future if that doesn't come to be the case. There are lots of men that use the I'm unhappy in my relationship and confide in another woman, or build a relationship with another woman. That when men and women do the same thing. When they're unhappy with their spouse, when they don't have the communication or the nurturing or the affection that they feel that they want, they supplement those things by getting it from other people. So that could be the case. He could be being very transparent with you. He's with a woman that he loves, but he don't want to break up with her and break her heart, or don't want to break up and be the bad guy. Like, there are lots of reasons why people don't just leave. But he could be lying to you. You know what I'm saying? That it's not guaranteed to be the case, and there's no guarantee that he's going to leave the woman either. So you are playing at your own risk. If you choose to get involved with this guy, you know what you're signing up for, so you can't come back and try to play the victim later. I would recommend you stay away from this situation, because most women ain't really built to be side chicks, and that's why you see so much chaos with them getting hurt, with them falling in love with the man that's already taken. And if it results in some type of pregnancy or something to that effect, you're the one that's most likely going to take the L in the situation. All right, let's see. The next post that I have, let's see. Oh, it's from flip_flop. It said, is it wrong to ask for a DNA test way before the child is born? There is no suspicion of your significant other. I feel like as a man, you have the right to request a paternity test whenever you are accused of being a father or suspected of being the father of a child. However, there's some politics involved. Asking a woman that you are romantically involved with for a paternity test is very offensive to a lot of women. They're going to automatically feel like you're accusing them. They're going to assume that you're accusing them instead of trying to confirm or confirm the paternity, and they're going to respond in a negative or hostile way. So it may not be in your best interest to do that, to present to her that you want a paternity test, etc. But what you can do is, before you sign the birth certificate, you could request one at the hospital. That's still going to likely result in some negativity and some backlash, but I think it would be better to do it then than to go through months of negativity or backlash, and is likely to result in some type of petty, childish behavior. I would recommend you wait until the child is here and you get that done at the hospital before you sign the birth certificate. That's still likely almost guaranteed to result in some type of negative feelings, but it is what it is. You can confirm paternity and you can move on from there. I know when I posted that type of scenario on my page, there are a lot of women that would file for divorce and break up with a man just for simply wanting to confirm his paternity. So it's a very, very hot topic issue that is going to result in negative, or it's going to result in a negative reaction out of most women. So just be prepared for it. Let's see. This next question was sent to me by Pooh_876. It says, why does the prospect of getting new pussy excite a man, and does that feeling ever go away? No, I don't think the excitement ever goes away. Men are always going to find new women that they find attractive. They're also going to find new women that they fantasize about or would be willing to have sex with. So that's something that is always going to be there. Even old men are going to see women that they wish they could fuck, or they wish they were young enough to date, etc. Why is it so exciting to men? Well, I think just as human beings, anytime we get something new that is pleasurable, that has a potential to have, bring excitement or pleasure to our lives, we're excited about it. You get a new car, you're excited to go to Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're excited to go drive, to go meet somebody somewhere. Not so much when you've had the car for a couple of years or several months. So the natural way that we respond to new things also applies to sex. And men are sexual, a lot less stringent on their sexual desires than women are. So men fuck for pleasure majority of the time. And so that the desire to experience and have new sexual experience is always going to be there. The difference is when men get married or get older or whatnot, they just alter how they handle those desires or that excitement, because it conflicts with what they're trying to build with their woman or their family dynamic, etc. But the same excitement is there even as a married man. I see women that sexually excite me. I just don't pursue them. That's the discipline, or that's where you're respecting your relationship enough that you don't act on those urges or those impulses. Why we're built that way, I can't really explain, but that is something that I don't think is ever going to go away. What changes is what a man is trying to build or what is important to him and how he responds to those urges or impulses. All right, let's see. The next question that I have. It said, this is from Adri.xo. Why do guys only want to fuck when they want, but not when I'm horny? They're not down. That's a real vague question. I can't really explain the answer. It'd be something that'd be on a case by case basis. But I would say maybe your sex drive is higher than theirs. Maybe it could be the mood that's not turning them on, how you're presenting the sex, or things of that nature. Sex is a very mental activity, so if there are things about the situation that are not turning them on or not quite where they want it to be, that can impact it. It could be a lack of sexual attraction to you, you know what I mean? Or a lack of enjoyment of the sex. It could be a combination of things that have that type of attitude. But the difference is when a dude is already horny and he's coming to you to see if you want to fuck too, then you don't have to do anything to excite him or get him worked up. He's already excited or already in a sexual mood. So I can't really answer your question directly, but that's kind of how things work from a male perspective. Let's see. I had I think one or two more questions. Let's see. This question says it's from Najesty. It's underscore. It says, how do you tell a man your issue but be reassuring at the same time? I don't really understand why you wouldn't have to do that. Expressing something that you have an issue with to your man should be something that it's the fundamental thing of any relationship is open communication. So as long as you're doing it with respect, as long as you're doing it, you know what I'm saying, without disrespecting him or going off or going crazy, you should always be able to express how you think or feel about something, whether that's good or bad, right? Now, I don't think that you expressing something that you have an issue with or something that is some type of conflict or something that is causing you to be uncomfortable, I don't think that requires reassurance, right? Just because you have an issue with something doesn't mean that you have to give a person reassurance. Trying to resolve or fix a problem or issue doesn't require reassurance. So those two things are not required in order for you to express your issue with the man. I would just say if you do have an issue with the man, you should be able to explain to him in detail why you have the issue, what the issue is, how the issue is impacting you. That's very, very key. A lot of women create issues over things that don't really have an impact on them. And that's where you get into the area where they're kind of overstepping their bounds or trying to be too controlling. And if you're with a quality guy, he'll be able to explain to you why he does what he does, why he's not doing things the way you want him to, or he'll be able to give you some type of clarity or explanation on the issue. Some things he'll be willing to change. Some things you'll just have to accept and deal with. The same way that men have to accept and deal with things when it comes to women. Everything that you have an issue with is not going to cause him to change or stop doing what he's doing. That's just the reality of it. So you have to pick your battles. Make sure it's something that you could be having an issue with something just because of how you perceive it to be, or how the assumptions you make about it. Oftentimes when women are coming to men with what they should do and what they should change and what they have problems with, it's usually a situation where the woman is judging the situation from her perspective. She's judging his thinking or behavior based off what she would have done if she was in that situation. And that's really unfair to men, because it's basically you're judging him or creating an issue with him for not thinking and operating like you do. So you need to make sure you need to think about exactly what the issue is and why you have an issue. And if you present the conversation to him, you should be able to get a meaningful dialogue and some type of explanation that makes sense logically as to why the issue continues to arise, or why he's not willing to change it. And the last question that we have for this segment is from Turtliz7. It says, is it rare to lose feelings for a boyfriend or girlfriend when he or she is on a vacation? Yes, I would say that that's very, very strange. To me, that sounds like a situation where you're falling out of love or you're ready to leave the relationship in the first place. A person leaving you for a couple of days, going out of town or doing something, shouldn't change how you feel about them, unless something happened while they were on vacation that creates some type of conflict or rift. Just them simply being out of town or not being in your presence for a couple of days shouldn't change your feelings for them. If it does, to me, that means that your feelings weren't authentic or genuine to begin with. I can't see a scenario where your man went out of town for the weekend to a wedding or something, and they come back and now you're not interested in them no more. Like, to me, that sounds like somebody that was flaky to begin with and whose feelings couldn't have been real if that's all it took for them to go away or change. So that has been my first segment of Terry's 20. If you do have questions, you can use the hashtag Terry's 20. And I'll be checking that, and I'll also put up posts on my Instagram story where you can submit questions to me that I can just screenshot and answer kind of back to back like I just did. Those of you that are on my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, give me some love, share it with your friends, and if y'all do have any questions, I'll hopefully be able to answer a lot more. This is easier than trying to reply to a bunch of DMs or emails. So submit your questions to me and we'll see where we go. Thanks for tuning in.